Hey everybody, this is your Sam. If you are finding my channel for the first time, I am a writer of fantasy, supernatural, and romance. I dabble a little bit in other things, but those are my main ones. I have a current project that I'm working on. It's titled I'm No Hero. It's going to be a heroic fantasy, swords and shields kind of thing, and I am almost finished. I do believe I only have 2 more chapters to finish the first draft of it, and I am really excited. But I wanted to take a moment to share with you a character sheet that I kind of created. I am in between a plotter or a architect, story architect, and a pantser or a discovery writer. I'm kind of a little bit closer to the discovery writer, pantser type writer. I like to have a loose outline just so that I know where I'm going, or I have something to look forward to when I'm in the nasty middle and it's kind of, boring me a little bit. So yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. Most of the character sheets that I find are either way too detailed or they're not really what I need. So I created my own, and this is the character sheet that I've been using for the past year, 2, give or take. So yeah, let's dive right in. If you want, I'm going to have a link below to where you can sign up for a newsletter, and you will get a link to this character sheet so you can use it yourself. If not, just sign up for my newsletter and you can see my crazy. For this video, I'm going to use my main character, Nadashia, to give you an example of how to use this character sheet. It's pretty self-explanatory, but here goes, just to help you out a little bit, give you a few ideas of what I mean on some of these. So, Nadashia's full name is Nadashia Vanya de Tatra of Silver Equus. Yeah, it's a mouthful. This world is full of mouthful names. Nadashia is a word that I made up. It means brave daughter in this world. Vanya de Tatra is her mother's name, her grandmother's name. In this world that I created, clans in this area inherit the mother's name in a way, in a fashion, like a middle name. So the first daughter will take on the name in some form or fashion of the father's mother. The second daughter, if there is one, will take on the name in some form or fashion of the mother's mother. And then Silver Equus is the clan name. They are very honorable people. They used to be higher ranking, but they've kind of fallen into ruin as the great-great-grandfather made a couple of bad investments, mainly a mining town, and the mine did not do as well as they had hoped, and it kind of sucked up all their money. So now they're kind of poor. They're getting by, but just barely. She has a couple nicknames. Her first nickname is Chi. That's pretty much what everybody calls her. And then her mother and grandmother and father every now and then call her Nada. When the story begins, Nadashia, or Chi, is 23. Her claims. Now, this can be, you know how some people don't want to claim that they're from a certain family or from a certain area or something like that. So here you can kind of put in what they claim to be or what they don't claim to be. This can also kind of help you flesh out their personality. But she, of course, will claim her family clan because, yeah, they were honorable, they were good people. It's just that her great-grandfather just made a bad decision, made a bad investment. Later on, she becomes the hero, and so she claims to be the hero at that point in time. And she also thinks of herself as a caregiver. This is because she pretty much tries to make sure that her father and her family have enough to eat. She's a hunter, she's a trapper, and she just has taken on that responsibility even though her father hasn't asked her to. Her family hasn't asked her to. It is also the reason why they scrape by, because she sells the meat that they don't need, she sells the skin, she sells the feathers of everything that she gets. So she's kind of frugal, and she's pretty good at that. And later on, she's going to have a couple more. The beauty about this is I like filling this in as we go along in the story. It helps me keep track, and it helps me see the character growth. And a little bit later on in this, you'll see what I mean. Physical, her height is 5'6". Let me hit the right key here. And her weight, at the beginning, she is like skinny. She's unhealthy. I haven't really done much research on that particular height, as I'm 5'9", but seeing as how it's 3 inches shorter than I am, I figured that a good, almost malnourished weight would be around 100. So at the beginning, she's going to be around 100 pounds, but towards the middle and everything, she gets to be a little bit healthier, so I'm going to put it at 150. Build, like I said at the beginning, she's skinny tiny, but she does have some kind of thick thighs and thick hips. And then she fills out, and then change from beginning to end. She gets healthier and eats more later on, so she gets healthier and rounder pretty much. Her eye color is hazel. I promise you guys, I can actually type. Her eye color around and she doesn't really have any glasses or contacts. Her eyes are pretty normal. She's pretty basic. Her face shape is kind of an oval. She's got sunken in cheeks at the beginning, but she doesn't really have any scarring or special attributes on her face. She doesn't have like a broken nose or anything at that point in time, but later on she will actually have kind of a hook in the middle of her nose. And her hair color is brown. The length is about mid-back. It doesn't really change during the story. Her hairstyle, she likes having it in braids or a ponytail all the time. She hates it being down. Skin tone, she's kind of got a farmer's tan because of her hunting skills and all that good stuff. Any tattoos or special markings? She has a few scars, mostly around her fingers because of setting traps, and her main weapon is daggers, so she practices a lot with her daggers, and well, you know, sometimes you cut yourself. So yeah, as the story goes on, she gets into a lot of fights, so she has stab wounds on her stomach and thigh and somewhere around her kidneys, if I remember correctly. Her clothing usually has long pants, long sleeve shirt that are loosely fit. She has a wide belt for daggers and knee length lace-up boots. Pretty much what she wears all the time. She always has her daggers on her. A little bit later in the story, there's a crossbow that she starts learning, and all. Now here's where we get to the personality and all the good stuff, you know, to me. Her Myers-Briggs is ISTP. She's introverted, she senses, she's a thinker, and she's a perceiver. When you read her, it'll pop out at you. Astrologically, she's an earth sign. Now, in this world, their astrology is a bit different. I haven't quite fleshed it out completely, but they have closer to 23 months in the year rather than just 12. It's broken down into 17 days each, if I remember correctly. It could be 27 days each. I can't remember. I have it all written down somewhere. It's just, yeah, I still gotta flesh it out a little bit. And according to our astrology, she is more of a Virgo. She's all work and no play. She's overly critical of herself. She loves nature and she hates asking for help. So those are all pretty much Virgo attributes. So I just put her as a Virgo. Her bad and good habits. Bad habit is self-doubt. She's self-reliant. That's kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing when it comes to her. Yeah. She does not like asking for help at all. And the changes that she goes through, she does learn to rely on others a little bit and trust more. It's not that she doesn't really trust people, it's just she thinks that she can do a better job herself. A lot of us that way. She doesn't really perceive herself as anything. She doesn't really want people to perceive her as anything other than caring, nice, and honorable. That changes throughout the story. She still wants to be seen as honorable, but she also kind of wants to be seen as reliable, that people can come to her if they need something other than her family. She's always been that way with her family, but she kind of grows to want to be that way for everyone. And here, I'm pretty much just going to talk so you don't have to see my horrible typing, because apparently when I'm filming myself, I cannot type whatsoever. Mannerisms for your character. This can be like little things they don't realize that they're doing. Sometimes they can realize it, but yeah, her mannerism is more kind of like a wallflower. She doesn't want to draw attention to herself. She doesn't think that she deserves attention, really. She's very, like the bad habit, she has a lot of self-doubt, except for when it comes to like hunting and trapping. She knows that she's good at that. She doesn't brag, though. As the story goes out, because she is the hero, literal hero, she becomes more of a leader. And then repetitive sayings and motions or tics. This can be anything from, when they get angry, their eyebrow kind of starts to twitch, or in the case of Nastasia, whenever somebody's doing something, she says, well, you don't have to do that, or something to that nature, because again, she thinks that she doesn't deserve help. She doesn't want to ask for help, kind of thing. When she's nervous, her fingers move a lot. So that results in her like tapping them against her leg, or she has her arms crossed around her belly, and the belt around her belly is what holds her daggers. So a lot of times whenever she's kind of hugging herself, she fingers the dagger hilts that are in her belt. And then we get down to the needs. Now this is where it's going to show a lot of your character growth throughout the book. So this is basically what I fill out as I write. Her need at the beginning is for money for her family, and pretty much to find a purpose other than providing for her family. She's pretty much stepped into that role just because she doesn't really know what else to do. So she doesn't really have a purpose other than to provide for her family. The need at the middle of the story changes to survival and stopping the evil. She still needs money for her family, but since she's been the hero for a while, towards the middle of the story, her family is getting money and getting more prestige. So that need is a little bit less at this point. Is her need at the end met? You had to find out. Her want is pretty much the same as her need, as it is money for the family. She doesn't exactly know this, but in the back of her mind, she wants an adventure. She wants a change. And towards the middle is her want is to have her family be safe and healthy, and yeah, again, at the end you kind of have to find out. Here is the section for special bonds. This can be, you know, best friend, her favorite family member. It can be a love or hate type too. So if she has a nemesis, or they have a nemesis in their village kind of thing, somebody that they hate, or somebody that they have like a healthy competition, you can fill this in. Hopefully you can create enough space as the story goes on to add or take away more. What is their greatest fear? This kind of helps flesh out their personality just a little bit more. For Nadashia, it's not being able to provide for her family, or seeing her family waste away and to no longer be honorable. What is their greatest love? Of course, it's going to be family. She also has a best friend named Tass, and she loves being needed. She doesn't really realize that, but she does love being needed. And then who or what would they kill for? Of course, it's going to be family. It's a broken record. Nadashi is a broken record with her family. And she might kill for honor. Here you can kind of list anything else that is special about your character. Nadashia is actually a strategist. It's kind of a family trait, and she can concentrate like no other. I mean, she almost gets tunnel vision. So with that concentration comes an ability to learn quickly and thoroughly too. That kind of goes into the whole strategy thing too, because you have to be able to take in all that information and formulate a plan rather quickly, but one that will also work. And the way I put this in the other sheet was that she was highly concentrated. Kind of a weird little joke. Here is where you can show the character growth. As I'm writing, I will go in here and write the chapter number or the scene label or title, depending on how I have it in Dabble or Google Docs. Right here, like certain attributes. One of her personal growths are trusting others, so I'll put that right there. And then in chapter 3, she learns that she has to have companions to rely on. She has to start trusting other people. She has to start relying on other people to do their jobs, because she is starting to realize that she can't do it all herself. So, and I'll go back in and fill this in everywhere. If you're a real plotter, you can go ahead and fill this out before you even start writing, but there's a couple of scenes that I might add or take away in chapters because I'm discovery writing, and I find that it fits there, or it flows there, or it flows that way. But yeah, you can put little things that you need your character to work on and all that good stuff right here, and then where it's at in your book over here. So that is basically it for my little character sheet. Like I said, it's not anything really all that special, but it's something that helps me, and it's something that might help you as well. Some of them out there are, like I said, way too much to fill out. You spend a year filling out a character sheet, and then there's others that don't really go into the changes that your character needs to make throughout the book. And I like to kind of keep track of that, because sometimes it might be a week until I get back to this particular story, because I get a new idea and I want to plot it out real quick before it just disappears. I like having something to use as a quick reference. Using a table like this, it's movable, it's mobile, you can add, take away, and all that good stuff. You can play with it. You can create your own character sheet. I know some people use the D&D character sheets, especially for fantasy, because I mean, they're awesome. I thought about doing that, and again, it's not really things that I need. Like, I don't need to know hit points or anything like that. I'm also going to have these two links down below. This is for the Myers-Briggs Foundation, kind of breaks down the personality types and everything that you can use for your characters. And then this link right here is what I use to study up on zodiac sounds and their meanings for my characters. I know a lot of people also use like the Harry Potter sorting houses. Of course, there's the Chinese zodiac as well, but those are the two main ones that I use. Anyway, I want to apologize for not uploading the writing vlog that I promised you on Thursday. Computer has some issues with video editing, and I'm currently trying to figure out a way to edit that much video on this particular system. What I might do is do like 3-day vlogs and go from there. Anyway, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll have the links down below. Be sure to check them out and sign up for my newsletter. Have a good day and keep writing.